Morning. Okay. Morning, everyone. We're going to get started. Sorry for the delay. Members will take their seats. To give our invocation this morning, the chair recognized the Imam Dien of Masjid of Philadelphia Mosque. He is here today as a guest of Councilwoman Blackwell. I would ask all members and guests to please rise. Morning.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. We seek refuge with the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to God, the Lord, sustainer and cherisher of all the worlds. Master of the day of judgment, thee do we worship, and thine aid do we seek. We ask that you show us the straight way, the way of those on whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not wrath, and who go not astray. By the token of time through the ages, verily man is in loss, except for those who have faith, do good deeds and righteous works, and invite others to the truth with patience and consistency. Oh God, we ask that you bless us and forgive us for our sins and our errors, and that you grant us all success in this life as well as the next, and that you bless all of the children and families around the world, and especially in this great city of brotherly love, who have no food to eat and no place to live. We ask that you bless this council and that you bless this chamber, that you bless our leaders, and that you bless this city of Philadelphia and bless us and remove us from the list of poverty. We ask that you guide us. We ask your forgiveness. We ask your blessings. And we ask that you bless the leaders here today and bless this council chambers. Bless all of them. Bless them, bless their families. Bless them for their hard work that they put forward for this city. And we ask that you continue to guide them and that you strengthen them and that you allow all of us to be successful in this life as well as the next. Those are our prayers. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Imam. Appreciate those words. Council, be at ease. Thank you. Now, the next order of business is the approval of the journal of the meeting of Thursday, November 15th, 2018, and the chair recognizes Councilman Greenlee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the journal of the meeting of Thursday, November 15th, 2018 be approved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly second. In the journal, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. The journal of the meeting of Thursday, November 15, 2018 is approved. The next order of business is request for leaves of absence, and the chair recognizes Councilman Henon.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the majority, a request of leave of absence today is requested by Councilman Green.
You said, I can't.
Green.
Green.
All right. Thank you, Councilman. Leave shall be granted to Councilman Green. And the chair now recognizes Councilman O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Republicans, there are no requests for leave of absence.
Chair thanks the gentleman. At this time, I would like to dispense with the regular order of business, and I would like to thank everyone who has taken time out of their busy day to come down and witness their government in action. We genuinely appreciate you being here. We hope your stay here today is a knowledgeable one, but more importantly, a pleasurable one. So enjoy and please come back again. Thank you so much. At this time, the chair recognizes Councilman Henon, who will present a resolution recognizing December 5th as AFL-CIO Day in Philadelphia. Would Pat Eiding and those accompanying him please join the councilman at the podium? And joining Councilman Henon, we have Councilwoman Parker, Councilman O'Neill, Councilwoman Blackwell, Councilman Dom, and Councilman Taubenberger.
I'm starting.
Take mine, because it's bigger.
Americans, okay, good. That's good. Well, good morning, everybody, and it is my pleasure here today in presenting a resolution to a national and international organization, honoring them on this day for decades of tireless work and fight for people who don't have a voice in communities, for higher wages, better benefits, safer workplaces, not only a voice in the job, but again, in the communities, a coalition builder for faith-based organizations, civil rights, and for bringing workers together for equal pay, for equal job, and for pay equity. And, you know, also being a tremendous connector for a lot of social services. And, you know, if we think about the AFL-CIO and the represented workers in the city of Philadelphia, it is just a tremendous, tremendous amount of good. And I always say that, you know, they are doing the work of the good angels, right, because they are. And when we need them the most, they are always there, not without a pat on the back. They're there because that's what we do. We live by, and they live by the principles, all right? They're coaching our kids in our playgrounds. They're also on the work sites, making sure that we get a friendly smile when you go to a hospital and you need a compassionate nurse. And when we have, and we're fighting for school funding, all right, in our quality schools, we have a teacher who understands, all right, that they're going to go the extra step and a mile to get another ream of paper, or when there is a little lack of service. They understand what it's like, all right, to be a participant in workers' right and the agenda of making sure that these principles and what we fight for with dignity and honor is passed along to our youth and our children and our social workers. Our folks who carry our mail every single day, things that we take for granted, moves every single day with the leadership of the AFL collectively. And we have the finest leadership, I think, in the city of Philadelphia with Pat Eiding, who is our president of the Philadelphia Council, AFL-CIO, its entire executive board, and also joined with us is executive board member, Secretary Treasurer Jim Gardner. from the CWA. So we are well represented in every aspect of every way. You know, how fitting is it for Philly workers demanding a fair work week and Workers United in this chambers here today? Then with these guys and these members of City Council who understands that the people they represent, because every single member of City Council understands workers' rights and understands the people and the demographics and the communities in which we serve throughout the city of Philadelphia. That's why it is such an honor as a 28, I think going on 29, if not 29-year member of a union who also understands what it's like to put the boots on and go to work. And I do that every single day here. In recognizing today, December 5th, as AFL-CIO Day in Philadelphia in honor of the decades of tireless work that American Foundation of Labor and Congress Industrial Organizations has done on behalf of working Philadelphia and Americas.
Whereas the AFL-CIO formed on December the 5th, 1955, following a merger between the American Federation of Labor and the Congress of Industrial Organizations, creating the largest federation of unions in the country. The federation continues to be the largest of its kind and represents more than 12 million active and retired workers. And
whereas due in no small part to the size and scope of its membership, with AFL-CIO has played a significant role in the United States political process at all levels of government, lending its organizing expertise in the electoral process and fearlessly advocating for workers' rights to be addressed at both the negotiating table and the floors of city halls, state legislatures, and the United States Congress. And
whereas the AFL-CIO actively raises awareness of issues facing American workers, issues such as gender equality, the pay gap, labor laws, workplace safety, and immigration and labor on both a local and global stage. And
whereas workers across the region have directly benefited from the organization of the AFL-CIO Philadelphia Council, led by President Patrick Eiding, who has been at the council's helm for 5 consecutive terms since 2002, which consists of over 100 local labor unions representing 200,000 workers. And
just a point of personal privilege, my father, Alfred Taubenberger, was a member of the CIO before it merged with the AFL-CIO. The AFL-CIO Philadelphia Council enhances its members' lives through benefits such as mortgage assistance, insurance plans, an array of scholarships that has amounted to over $4 million for union members and their children in the past 25 years to further their education and training and opportunities to travel, resulting in an improved quality of life for Philadelphia workers. And
whereas the AFL-CIO Philadelphia Council does not limit its impact to our city, but works to bring our country closer together by highlighting AFL-CIO initiatives such as the North Carolina Workers Relief Fund, which is designed to aid North Carolina citizens in the wake of the destruction caused by Hurricane Florence. And
whereas under the direction of this man, Patrick Eiding, who has dedicated his entire life to improving the lives of Philadelphia's workers, having worked with and in unions since 1963, and been continuously involved with the Philadelphia area boards and commissions. The AFL-CIO represents a champion of justice in the city and beyond. Now, therefore,
recognize that over 200,000 people in the city of Philadelphia, including their households, are either a member of a union, a household of a union, and they are building America in Philadelphia in and out of our homes. Further be resolved that they recognize and honored that the AFL-CIO, the AFL-CIO Philadelphia Council, and Patrick Eiding, and declare that December 5th be AFL-CIO Day in the city of Philadelphia. Further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be passed to Patrick Eiding and further evidencing his sincere sentiments of this legislative body. Congratulations.
And the chair recognizes Pat Eiding for remarks.
So I am Pat Eiding, and at 5 years old, I started in the labor movement, as you heard. I'm proud to stand here representing not only 200,000 union members, but the workers in the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. And I'm proud to be standing here with our Secretary, Jim Gardler, who represents the, I don't know how many thousand workers at the CWA 13,000. I want to thank the President Clark, and thank you, Majority Leader Bobby Henon, for introducing this resolution. I'm very thankful that this City Council recognizes the importance of the AFL-CIO and the Philadelphians we represent every day. We've had some major advances for working people in the past few years thanks to this City Council: justice for airport workers, wage theft protection, raising our minimum wage, sick leave pay, and much more. And I believe there are more victories just on the horizon, maybe even today. So it's important to note that this doesn't happen by accident. This happens because we have a city council that listens to Philadelphia working people, and I am proud to receive this honor from them on behalf of the Philadelphia Council, AFL-CIO, and all working people in the city of Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Council, be at ease. For our next presentation, the chair recognizes Councilman Jones, who presented a resolution recognizing Michael J. Woodard. With Mr. Woodard and those accompanying him, please join the councilman at the podium. And joining Councilman Jones, we have Councilman Greenlee, Councilman O, Councilwoman Parker, Councilwoman Kiona Sanchez, and Councilman Taubenberger and Councilman Dom.
Wait a minute. She called him cute. He's handsome now. He's whole grown. He's still cute. All right. So, over the years, we've had over 180 interns come through our office, come through City Council. President was very clear about giving young people an opportunity to see government up close and personal. Of them, all of them were unique. Some of them have become doctors, lawyers, Wall Street bankers, teachers, auditors, laborers, moms and dads. Some of them even got married because they met in City Hall. Pastrana, I know you're in here. They met in our office. But Mr. Woodard was different. He was neat. Every now and then you see something in that person. As soon as they came through the door, we knew he was there because he was like a cup of coffee early in the morning, and he was here. He was anxious to be a part of going to different offices. You may have seen him deliver stuff to you or pass him in the hallway. He almost skipped the work, and we knew he was destined for great things. So we're here and happy, and my staff is here because they had an opportunity. He would come in so enthusiastic, we had to calm him down. We would say, Michael, right? Calm him down and get him going. But nothing could stop his enthusiasm. His enthusiasm was contagious. He went on to prove himself in the American Idol competition, and every week we were glued to our television sets. We only voted once. But he got his votes to make it to top 5. And so we are very proud of him today, and we're here to recognize him and his accomplishments as a Philadelphian. Right? Can I borrow your skirt? You mean you can't read it? No. So, recognizing and honoring a local American Idol star, Michael J. Woodard, for making it to the top 5 of the series, and congratulating him and in his participation in the American Idol live tour.
Whereas Michael J. Woodard is a 20-year-old singer who is a native of the East Falls section.
Say that again, Native.
East Falls section of Philadelphia.
What district would that be?
All right, congratulations.
And what district would that be?
4th District.
Whereas Michael's talents were on national display when he won a ticket to Hollywood to be featured on the latest season of American Idol. The competitive singing series originally aired on June 11, 2002, and recently completed its 16th season.
And whereas on the show, Michael shined with his performances characterized as magical by the judges of the competition. Throughout the competition, Michael remained a fan favorite across social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. And
whereas Michael made it to the top 5 before being eliminated from the competition on May 13, 2018, and
Recount.
Whereas prior to being on American Idol, Michael was the winner of the Hub Network reality series Majors and Minors in 2012, and
Whereas over the summer, Michael toured the United States with the rest of the American Idol contestants who made it to the competition's top 7 for the American Idol live tour, which kicked off July 11th in Redding, California, and
whereas Michael is also a former intern of the office of Councilman Curtis Jones, Jr., where his bright personality, dedication, and hard work left a lasting impact on the office and City Hall. And
whereas Michael's success on American Idol has made the residents of the city of brotherly love immensely proud and it is evident that this will not be the last stop on his singing career. Now therefore be it.
Resolved by the Council of the City of Philadelphia, and he is cute, that it hereby recognizes and honors Michael J. Woodard for making it to the top 5 of this season's American Idol and congratulates him on his participation in the American Idol Live Tour. And further resolved that an engrossed copy of this resolution be presented to Council's own Michael Woodard as evidence of our sincere admiration and respect. Thank you. Congrats.
And the chair recognizes Michael Woodard for remarks.
Remarks. Oh my gosh, yo. This is what the award looks like. Looks very nice. Yeah. Well, first I want to give an honor to God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And then I want to thank the women up here in my life. You know, the women of the rock. They always hold it down. So this is my mom, Wanda Woodard.
Hey, Mom.
This is my grandma, Liddy Martin. And also this is Miss Mary, who came to join us today as well, a close family friend. And then I want to thank Councilman Curtis Jones for being so instrumental in my life, not just, you know, walking into being an intern in his office, but even now, thank you so much for not, you know, forgetting and still continuing to be such an instrumental piece in my life. Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilman. And to the staff, oh my gosh, Miss Elijah, Miss Michelle, Samantha, oh my gosh, and everybody else that works in his office. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. I just want to say to anybody who's listening, or if we have any young people in the room, don't let anybody limit, you know, what you think you can do. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is born to be dreamers. You know, my dream definitely spans beyond American Idol, even though it has been an amazing part of my life. I'm definitely not done yet. There's no dream too big. The sky is not the limit. You can go farther than that. And that's what I believe, and that's what I live by. So keep following your dreams, keep chasing your dreams, and don't let anybody tell you what you can't and can do. Yes. Well, I sang at the Christmas lighting last night in the cold, very cold, but I will try my best today. Let's see if my vocals recovered. All right. Just a couple of lyrics. Okay. If you believe within your heart, you know that no one can change the fact that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours. Believe you can go home. Believe you can float on air. Click your heels 3 times if you believe, and you'll be there. That's why you must believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic right there in your heart. Believe all these things because I believe in you. Woo. Little hoarse, but we made it through. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Biddies. Thank you, and congratulations. Ready? And our next order of business is communications, and the chair requests that the Sergeant of Arms delivers the messages from the mayor to the chief clerk. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilwoman. Hold on one second, Mr. Decker. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Blackwell.
Thank you very much. As we have passed legislation, as you all know, the Juneteenth celebration is one of many taking place in Philadelphia and nationally during the commemoration of the 400 years of Africans coming into this land. This particular celebration is important to me because it will take place on 52nd Street as well as Northwest Philadelphia and Center City and make a significant cultural and economic impact on our city. Due to leadership of a number of key people like Michael Rashid, Ali and Helen Salahuddin, and Fareed Ghaffar of 52nd Street, which has been named Muhammad Ali Way, we expect his wife and others to join us in this historic celebration. We also commend other Juneteenth organizations, including Kenny Gamble, Molefe Asante, Ron Brown, Kofi Asante, and Rochelle Bilal. We're asking that you join us in the caucus room after City Council for a full press conference and a luncheon hosted by the Pennsylvania Juneteenth Initiative to hear more about this historic importance and the significance of Black people in America. I'm now asking if Michael Rashid, Ali and Helen Salahuddin, and Fareed Ghaffar, as well as Stan Schroeder, to step forward and be recognized by this council. Please stand and come forward so that people can see who you are and join us in the caucus room. Where are you? Will you stand? Thank you. Thank you. I don't. Here they are. They're coming forward in the rear and stand. And again, we ask that all of you join us for lunch and for a press conference after council in the caucus room. Thank you all for all that you are doing. God bless you and thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. We'll see you shortly.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Yes.
Clerk?
To the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, pursuant to Sections 4604 and 2307 of the Home Rule Charter, I am today transmitting to the Council the recommendation of the City Planning Commission on the following bills. Bill numbers 180841, 180872, 180890, 180891, 180907, and 180908. And I am pleased to advise you that on November 28, 2018, I signed the following bill, which was passed by Council at its session on November 15, 2018. Bill number 180870. And I am submitting herewith for the consideration of your honorable body an ordinance revising parking regulations for South Street from 21st Street to 27th Street, and an ordinance authorizing the extension of the program authorized by Bill number 150443, under which advance approval is given to the Philadelphia Facilities Management Corporation to enter into certain contracts and transactions arising thereunder for the purchase, storage, distribution, transportation, and/or transmission of natural and other gas supply on behalf of the Philadelphia Gas Works. And an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute a release from a restriction contained in an agreement dated April 10, 1951, related to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land in and about the area bounded by Pennypack Park, Ryan Avenue, and Rowland Avenue, conveyed by the city to the School District of Philadelphia in 1951, all under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. The message will be printed in the Journal of the Chief Clerk. Is there any other communications coming up from the
I have none,
Clerk?
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The next order of business will be the introductions of bills and resolutions. The chair recognizes Councilwoman Blackwell.
Thank you very much. I introduce one bill and one resolution today.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
An ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to convey to the Philadelphia Authority for Industrial Development all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land in and about the area bounded by 46th Street, Market Street, 48th Street, and Haverford Avenue for further conveyance.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority without consideration deeds conveying conditional fee simple title to certain city-owned lots or pieces of ground with the buildings and improvements thereon situated in the 51st Ward of the City of Philadelphia.
Will be placed on next council session's passage, final passage. Chair recognizes Councilman Greenlee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of Council President Clark, I offer 2 resolutions, and on your behalf, I offer 1 bill.
Thank you, Councilman.
An ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute a release from a restriction contained in an agreement dated April 10, 1951, related to all or a portion of a parcel or parcels of land in and about the area bounded by Pennypack Park, Ryan Avenue, and Rowland Avenue, conveyed by the city to the School District of Philadelphia in 1951.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority without consideration deeds conveying conditional fee simple title to certain city-owned lots or pieces of ground with the buildings and improvements thereon situated in the 28th Ward of the City of Philadelphia.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1238 North 15th Street located in the 5th Councilmanic District.
Resolution will be placed on the next calendar's final session or final vote. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Reynolds Brown, please.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I simply need to state for the record, I have no bills or resolutions this morning.
Thank you, Councilman. Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 1 bill and 1 privileged resolution today.
Thank you, Councilman.
An ordinance authorizing the extension of the program authorized by Bill Number 150443, under which advance approval is given to the Philadelphia Facilities Management Corporation to enter into a certain contract or certain contracts and transactions arising thereunder for the purchase, storage, distribution, transportation, and/or transmission of natural and other gas supply on behalf of the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
For the record, that was introduced on behalf of Councilman Green.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
It'll be noted on the record.
And a privileged resolution recognizing and congratulating Trish Wellenbach and the Please Touch Museum on the opening of their America to Zanzibar exhibit, a vibrant exhibition celebrating the diversity of modern and historic Muslim communities across Philadelphia and the world through art, technology, and interactive programming, which will be open to the public from February 2, 2019 through September 19, 2019.
Resolution will be placed on today's final passage calendar. Chair recognizes Councilman Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, I have 2 bills.
Thank you, Councilman.
You're welcome.
An ordinance revising parking regulations for South Street from 21st Street to 27th Street.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
And an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Christian Street to South 24th Street and South 19th Street, Montrose Street to South 22nd Street, Catherine Street to South 23rd Street, Carpenter Street to South 15th Street, Banbury Street to Webster Street, South 16th Street to Catherine Street.
Refer to the appropriate committee. Chair now recognizes Councilwoman Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 1 bill and 1 non-privileged resolution.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
An ordinance authorizing Mohammed Taululi to construct, own, and maintain a proposed exterior stairway at 4955 through 57 Frankfurt Avenue.
Refer to the appropriate committee.
And a non-privileged resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to execute and deliver to the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority without consideration deeds conveying conditional fee simple title to certain city-owned lots and pieces of ground with the buildings and improvements thereon situated in the 7th Ward of the City of Philadelphia.
Will be placed in our next session of council final passage. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no bills or resolutions today.
Thank you, Councilman. Chair recognizes Councilman Dien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 1 privileged resolution today.
Thank you, Councilman.
A privileged resolution acknowledging and recognizing the Drug Enforcement Administration's 360 strategy and innovative three-pronged approach to combating heroin opioid use through law enforcement, diversion, and community outreach.
Resolution will be placed on today's final passage. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Dien.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one privileged resolution.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
A privileged resolution recognizing and honoring Southwest Philadelphia's Ania Moore, a Philadelphia Public Schools graduate, for being named a 2019 Rhodes Scholar.
Resolution will be placed on today's final passage. Chair recognizes Councilman Teutenberger.
Good morning, Chairman Henon. I have no bills or resolutions.
Thank you, Councilman. Chair recognizes Councilman O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no bills or resolutions.
Thank you, Councilman. Chair recognizes Councilwoman Bass.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer no bills or resolutions this week.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Chair recognizes Councilman O.
Thank you very much. I offer no bills or resolutions.
Thank you, Councilman. The next order of business will be reports from the committees, and the chair recognizes Councilman Greenlee for a report from the Committee of the Whole.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee, Leslie, get that back to me. Sorry. Apologize. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Committee of the Whole reports 3 resolutions with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Would the Chief Clerk please read the report?
To the President and members of the Council of the City of Philadelphia, the Committee of the Whole, to which is referred Resolution Number 180672, entitled, "A Resolution Appointing H. Hetherington Smith to the Board of Directors of the Center City District," and Resolution Number 180674, entitled, "A Resolution Appointing Paige Jaffe to the Board of Directors of the Center City District," and Resolution Number 180919, entitled, "A Resolution Confirming the Reappointment of San Juanita Gonzalez as a member of the Board of Ethics to serve in the term ending November 16, 2023. Respectfully reports it has considered the same and returns the attached resolutions to Council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Resolutions 180672, 180674, and 180919 will be placed on the final passage calendars for next session of Council. The Chair now recognizes Councilman Greenlee for a report for the Committee of Public Property and Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I finally have it together now. Thank you. The Committee on Public Property and Public Works reports 3 bills with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Councilman. Clerk, would you please read the report?
The Committee on Public Property and Public Works, to which is referred Bill Number 180602, entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to enter into a sublease agreement with the Philadelphia Municipal Authority for use by the city of a portion of the premises located at 100 South Broad Street." And Bill Number 180906, entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property to enter into a lease agreement with John F. Kennedy Behavioral Health Center for use by the city of all or a portion of the premises located at 112 North Broad Street." And Bill Number 180951, entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property and the Director of Commerce to acquire an approximately 15-acre property known as 501 Seminole Street, Leicester, Pennsylvania, together with all improvements thereon." Respectfully reports that it has considered the same and returns the attached bills to Council with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Chair now recognizes Councilman Greenlee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit first reading this day of bill numbers 180602, 180906, and 180951.
I hear a second. It has been moved and is properly seconded that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this day, bill numbers 180602, 180906, and 180951. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it. These bills will be placed on the first reading calendar for today. The chair now recognizes Councilwoman Sanchez for a report for the Committee of License and Inspections.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Committee on Licenses and Inspection reports 2 bills with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. Clerk, would you please read the report?
The Committee on Licenses and Inspections, to which is referred Bill Number 180939, entitled, An Ordinance Amending Chapter 93900 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Property Licenses and Owner Accountability, to modify application and notice requirements and penalties for noncompliance. And Bill Number 180940, entitled, An Ordinance Amending Chapter 192600 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Business Income and Receipts Taxes, to modify application requirements for commercial activity licenses. Respectfully reports it as considered the same and returns the attached bills to council with a favorable recommendation.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the rules of council to be suspended so as to permit first reading this day of bills numbers 180939 and 180940.
It has been moved and properly second that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of these bills today, bill numbers 180939 and 180940. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. These bills will be placed on our first reading calendar for today. The chair now recognizes Councilwoman Parker for a report for the Committee on Labor and Civil Service.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Labor and Civil Service reports 1 bill with a favorable recommendation.
Clerk, would you please read the report?
The Committee on Labor and Civil Service, to which is referred Bill Number 180846, entitled, An Ordinance Amending Section 171305 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Compensation Required to be Paid to Employees, to revise the compensation required to be provided in connection with application of the Philadelphia 21st Century Minimum Wage Standard, and amending Section 192604 of the Code, entitled Tax Rates, Credits, and Alternative Tax Computation, to make the wage rates related to the tax credit for new job creation consistent with Section 171305. Respectfully reports it as considered and amended the same, and returns the attached bill to council with a favorable recommendation.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit first reading this day of Bill Number 180846.
It has been moved and properly second that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this day, Bill Number 180846. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. This bill will be placed on our first reading calendar for today. The chair now recognizes Councilman Jones for a report from the Committee of Commerce and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Committee of Commerce and Economic Development offers 1 bill with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Councilman.
Make that 2 bills with favorable recommendations.
Clerk, would you please read the report?
The Committee on Commerce and Economic Development, to which is referred Bill Number 180704, entitled, An Ordinance Amending Chapter 171600 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Economic Opportunity Plans, by requiring the Labor Standards Unit to monitor contractors and enforce city contract requirements for workforce diversity. And Bill Number 180975, entitled, An Ordinance Authorizing the City Commerce Department on behalf of the City of Philadelphia to enter into an agreement with the Philadelphia Authority for Industrial Development and the Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau, both for the purpose of hosting the Army-Navy intercollegiate football game in certain years. Respectfully reports it as considered the same and returns the attached bills to council with a favorable recommendation.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit first reading this day of bills number 180704 and 180975.
It has been moved and properly second that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of these bills today, bill numbers 180704, 180975. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. These bills will be placed on our first reading calendar for today. The chair again now recognizes Councilman Jones for a report for the Committee on Public Safety.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. The Committee on Public Safety reports 2 bills with favorable recommendations.
Clerk, would you please read the reports?
The Committee on Public Safety, to which is referred Bill Number 180741, entitled An Ordinance Amending Section 10840 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Criminal and Defiant Trespassers, to clarify and modify applicable definitions, penalties, and procedures, and to make certain technical changes. And Bill Number 180978, entitled An Ordinance Amending Title 10 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Regulation of Individual Conduct and Activity, Chapter 10800 Safety, by adding a new Section 10841, Fraudulent Leasing of Residential Property, prohibiting conduct related to the fraudulent leasing of residential property. Respectfully reports it is considered the same and returns the attached bills to council with a favorable recommendation.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Mr. Chair, I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit first reading of these bills this day, Bill Number 180741 and 180978.
It has been moved and properly second that the rules of council be suspended as to permit the first reading of this day, Bill Numbers 180741 and 180978. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. These bills will be placed on our first reading calendar for today.
Thank you. Our next order of business is consideration of the calendar. I note that the bills just reported from committee with the suspension of the rules have been deemed to have had their first reading. These bills will be placed on our second reading and final passage calendar at our next session of council. Chair now recognizes, is Councilwoman Parker over there? Why is this here? Yeah, it was 2 of them. Yeah, before we do the consideration. Yeah, no. Coming back. Ready?
Thank you.
Chair now recognizes Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit an amendment to be offered on Bill Number 180741 at this time.
All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And again, the chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to offer an amendment to Bill Number 180741. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of council. I move for the adoption of the amendment.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And Bill Number 180741 has been amended. Bill Number 180741, as amended, will be placed on our final passage calendar at our next session of council. The chair again recognizes Councilwoman Park at this time for a motion regarding bills number 180978.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules of council be suspended so as to permit an amendment to be offered on Bill Number 180978 at this time.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And again, the chair recognizes Councilwoman Parker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to offer an amendment to Bill Number 180978. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of council. I move for the adoption of the amendment.
All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And Bill Number 180978 has been amended. Bill Number 180978, as amended, will be placed on our final passage calendar at our next session of council. As there are no additional bills on our first reading calendar, the chair recognizes Councilman Henon for a motion concerning the bills on the second reading and final passage calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the rules of council be suspended to permit the use of a consent agenda to consider the following bills on the second reading and final passage calendars. Bill numbers 180747, 180749, 180872, 180907, 180908, 180743, 180601, 180604, 180646, 180647, 180694, 180730, 180731, 180733, 180734, 180735, 180841, 180866, 180867, 180868, 180869, 180871, 180890, 180891, 180946, 180947, 180954, 180956, 1809.
Second.
Second. It's been moved and seconded the rules of council be suspended to permit the use of a consent agenda to consider the bills just read by Councilman Henon. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And the motion carries, and we will consider the consent agenda shortly. The chair again recognizes Councilman Henon for the purpose of calling up bills and resolutions on the regular second reading and final passage calendar.
Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to the bills being considered on the consent agenda, the following resolutions and bills are being called up for the second reading and final passage calendars today. They are Bill numbers 181016, 181018, 181019, 181026, 180351-A, 18008-A, 170854, 180649, and 180695. All other bills and resolutions are being held.
Thank you, Councilman. It is now time for our public comment session. Our public comment session will go as follows. If you are interested in testifying on a bill and resolution that is on the final passage today, if you have not already done so, you may sign up at the table to my left. When your name is called, you will go to the middle of the council chambers. There's a podium. There's a device on that podium. When the light turns green on that device, it will be your time to speak. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds to conclude your remarks. When the light turns red, we'd ask that you please adhere to our guidelines and conclude your remarks. Thank you very much for your anticipated cooperation. Mr. Decker, please call the first name on the list.
Bruce Marks.
I think he went back to the convention center. Is he here?
Madison Nardi. Commenting on 180649.
Hello, I am Madison Nardi. I'm a member of 1PA and a lifelong resident of South Philadelphia. I've been working in retail now for 3 years. I'm a previous team member at Target in South Philadelphia, and now I work at the Philadelphia International Airport. I want to thank every city council member who has supported the Fair Work Week bill. When the Fair Work Week bill gets passed, we want to install this as one, whoa, what did I write? When the Fair Work Week bill gets passed, we want this bill to be the strongest form as possible so workers can have stability in our home life and our work life. When I first started out in retail, I needed a job to pay my bills, books and supplies for school, and as well to take care of my disabled mother. I had a lot of responsibilities to take on at only 18 years old. Starting out in retail like everyone else, I was naive to the working conditions in the service industry. I have an erratic schedule which takes a toll on my mental health, and I couldn't make time to study or schedule doctor's appointments for myself or my mother. I had frequent panic attacks due to management overworking me and due to the stress of my erratic work schedule. My weekly hours would constantly fluctuate. Due to this, I didn't know how much money would be on my paycheck at the end of the week. Sometimes I would be late on bills and had to even borrow money. I'm just one of the 130,000 Philadelphians working in the service sector who experiences stress in our lives due to our work schedule. If you care about your constituents and getting Philadelphia out of poverty, you will vote yes for the Fair Workweek bill in its current strongest form. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony.
Ann O'Brien. Ann O'Brien. Commenting on 180649.
Good afternoon. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. I'm Shirley Howe, reading the testimony for Ann O'Brien, who's the CEO and of Montgomery Early Learning Centers. They are a 55-year-old nonprofit organization that provides high-quality early childhood education to children in Philadelphia and Montgomery counties. They currently have 2 centers, serving approximately 150 children in West Philadelphia. We will be opening another site next year at 59th and Market Streets, and I am here today to express our support for the Fair Workweek legislation and want to share some thoughts with you from the perspective of an organization in the business of caring for young children and helping parents go to work. Family access care for their children in several ways. Those who have the means to pay for the full cost out of their own pockets. Other low-income working families may qualify for state child care subsidy. Still others enroll their children in free programs like Early Head Start, and Pre-K Counts, the state's pre-K program. Families in Philadelphia are fortunate enough, thanks to this body, to also have access to the Philly Pre-K, another free program that families can enroll in. The state requires parents using subsidized childcare to maintain 20 hours of regular work. When hours and schedules fluctuate, causing changes in income, the parents' capacity to maintain their eligibility for these critical early learning supports is put at risk. A fair work week would go a long way to ensuring that parents don't lose the support and children don't suffer when the loving and consistent relationships they have with their teachers, so critical for their development, are disrupted. But not only would this legislation support families and children, it would also go a long way to ensuring a vital, high-quality early education system in our city. To ensure that MELC can deliver consistently high-quality early education to all our children, our preference is to minimize our enrollment of children exclusively on subsidy. Not only can the subsidy be disrupted, subsidy also travels with the child as opposed to other revenue streams like Early Head Start, the state's Pre-K Counts program, and Philly Pre-K. These seats are contracted directly with the provider and do not allow for the child, providing much needed financial stability for organizations like ours. The bottom line is that a fair work week is in the best interest of children and their working parents, but also in the interest of creating a stable, high-quality early child care and education system in the city, which will ensure that all of our children are prepared for school and for life. Thank you.
Thank you.
Reverend Jay Broadnax, commenting on 180649.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of council. My name is Reverend Jay Broadnax, and I am here in support of the Fair Work Week proposed legislation. As clergy, we serve in the dual role of shepherds and prophets. And as a shepherd, thank you. As a shepherd, I see firsthand struggles that families face and the consequences of folks not being able to count on their work schedules. And as a prophetic leader, I'm called to speak up for them and help them proclaim their truth. And the truth is that there are 130,000 working poor folks who are a part of the very fabric of Philadelphia. They are a part of us. And that which doesn't work for them affects all of us. And the truth is that for these 130,000 people who come to work every day striving to do right by their families, constantly shifting and fluctuating schedules simply don't work and keep them in perpetual instability. The truth is that them not being able to plan for their doctor's appointments makes our whole city less healthy. The truth is that them not being able to schedule parent-teacher conferences because they might have to work makes our whole city less effectively educated. And the truth is that when 50% of Philadelphia service workers have experienced the inability to put food on the table in the last year, our whole city is not fed. But the truth is also that I believe that everyone in here who loves this city, if we look hard enough, can see a different vision for the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. So I believe that a vote for Fair Work Week is a vote for achieving that vision of Philadelphia. A vision of a Philadelphia where people, including people of color, are not stuck in an inevitable cycle of poverty. Can't you see it? It's a vision of stability and security for all Philadelphians. It's a vision where there's a foundation that people who work hard and are well-intentioned can build on. Can't you see it? It's a vision of a city where every worker is valued and treated with justice. A fair work week is a vehicle that can drive us towards that vision. It's a vehicle that's moving in cities like Seattle and New York and San Francisco toward that vision. I appeal to you today, vote for that vehicle. Don't take it apart so it doesn't get us anywhere. Vote for it today, and let's get moving today toward a vision of a Philadelphia that puts Philadelphia families first. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony.
Tanya Morris. Commenting on 180649.
Thank you. My name is Tanya Morris. I'll be reading a testimony on behalf of Carol Wong, founder and executive director of the Chinatown Learning Center, a 4 Keystone Star and 4 bilingual preschool and after-school program in Philadelphia for the past 25 years. It is very important to pass this bill for parents to be able to plan. All right, thank you. It is very important to pass this bill for parents to be able to plan for child care for their children. If a schedule is not stable, consistent, or planned ahead, it's very hard for the parents to get care for their children. I have had parents in the past that could not apply for government subsidy or go back to work because the work schedule was so sporadic. It is also very important for the children to have a set schedule and routine as well. This has been very hard on the parents because they need the income and are not sure what their income will be if it varies from week to week. Businesses must respect workers and help them plan ahead. This has a direct negative effect on many child care and other businesses as well. If vacancies aren't filled or children come only part-time, it's a financial burden. It makes it difficult to pay staff, and funding is crucial to keep a center high quality. It's a very difficult decision for parents if they have to pull their children out of my center due to a lack of required hours or the inconsistency of their work hours. I hope you can help workers by passing this bill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony.
Dustin Guastella. Commenting on 180649.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Dustin Guastella on behalf of the Democratic Socialists of America. I want to thank Council, and I want to thank Councilmember Dien in particular for introducing this legislation. And I want to talk a little bit about what this legislation could mean for the city of Philadelphia. Because I think a lot of people have heard, especially on Council from the business lobby, and they talk in a bloodless language of dollars and cents, as if this bill is just about the bottom line. But this bill isn't about the bottom line. This bill is about power. And it's about the power employers have over workers when they're not on the job. And that's a power no one should have. Workers need free time. They need the time to be able to care for their families. They need the time to be able to go grocery shopping. They need time to be able to study for exams when they're trying to get their education. Workers need this time. And right now in the city of Philadelphia, in the fastest growing service sector, 130,000 service sector workers do not have that time. So what I ask is that Council pass this bill, pass a clean bill, and pass a strong bill for the working class majority in this city, so 130,000 service sector workers in this city can have a fair, reliable work schedule. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony.
Joe Danahill, commenting on 1811019, 1803518, 1809907, 180743, and 180604.
Good
Good afternoon. This is an official decree of the people and writ mandamus quo warranto, and as such requires immediate action remedy. Every week, council, mayor, governor, and others transfer private property to the government, probably illegally. Corrupt officials stealing from the people constantly makes bad press for Philadelphia. People want to know why their government routinely violates the people. Do council, mayor, governor, and attorney general refuse their sworn duty to investigate and prosecute oath, constitution, and law violators? If I owned a corporation looking to relocate, that would trouble me. Is electing corrupt officials a major reason why homes and property are being stolen from hardworking people, as alleged in the Institute of Justice lawsuit? Why has the Attorney General and DA refused their sworn duty to investigate and prosecute oath-violating officials? Laws are like Bibles. Unless they're followed, nothing changes. The constitutions require immediate remedy of this breach of law, breach of close, breach of fiduciary duty. Your oath of office requires you to act or face prison. 42 U.S.C. 1982, 1983, 1985, 1986, 1987. 18 U.S.C. 241, 242, 2381, 2384. PA Constitution, Article 1, Sections 1 through 28, 26 PA CSA 703, 705, 708, 709, 711, 712, 713, 716, 902, and other laws listed in SCOTUS 158965, 141330, 144056 appear violated. I call on the federal and Commonwealth governments to perform their constitutional obligations, to investigate and prosecute all involved in the theft and the legal deed transfer of my home, 1038 West Wyoming Avenue. The denial of God-given 42 U.S.C. 1982 property rights for 25 years is egregious, extraordinary, oath-violating, and requires immediate remedy. A just government must obey the rule of law. This color law government must have its charter to govern revoked until a constitutionally compliant government is installed. Public servants cannot refuse their sworn duty to act any more than a fireman can refuse to fight a fire. The sovereign people require oath, constitutions, and laws be enforced, and jail is required for all who violate oath, constitution, or law. I remind council, it takes a lot of cooperation to create and allow this monumental corruption.
Thank you. David Muscatello. Commenting on 180965.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is David Moscatello, West Philly resident. I'd like to thank City Council for taking up Bill 180965 and for taking testimony on this important topic. I'm speaking on behalf of Philadelphia's Ready for 100, a Sierra Club campaign with the goal of obtaining 100% of our energy from clean, renewable sources. Scientists and activists have been raising awareness and trying to build demand for renewable energy for decades now, but reactionary forces at the federal level and in Harrisburg have slowed progress, and action at the municipal level is our best option. Nations like Sweden, Norway, and Costa Rica are leading the way with commitments to achieve 100% renewable energy. Mayors, including Mayor Kenny and cities across the nation, have pledged to move to 100% clean renewable energy. Nationwide, 82 cities and 9 counties have committed to 100% renewable electricity, with a majority of targets by 2035. 2 states, California and Hawaii, have already committed to achieving 100% renewable energy by 2045. A number of smaller cities have already achieved this, including Burlington, Vermont, Greensburg, Kansas, and Georgetown, Texas. We understand the issue is complex, but we have no choice but to move forward. Last week, the 4th National Climate Assessment by 13 federal agencies revealed a grim future from unchecked climate change. On Tuesday, an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer on this report found that Pennsylvania and New Jersey in particular face particular serious impacts. And just yesterday, an article in the Inquirer noted a United Nations report that 7 major countries, including the United States, are well behind in achieving the pledges made in Paris just 3 years ago, and that the science indicates that peaking greenhouse gas emissions by 2020 is critical to avoid temperature increases of more than 2 degrees Celsius, which would be catastrophic. Now is the time to turn words into actions. Philadelphia has the chance to participate as a leader, one of the first major cities on the East Coast to blaze the trail to renewables. The proposed power purchase agreement project is an important step in ensuring a sustainable future for Philadelphia, but just a small step in addressing the urgent matter of global climate change. For comparison, New Jersey has 2,526 megawatts of solar capacity already installed, 6 in the nation, almost 4% of their electricity, while Pennsylvania has only 386 megawatts installed, 22nd in the country, and just 0.2%. So we have no time to waste and a lot of catching up to do. The 70 megawatt solar farm to be built via this PPA in Adams County is a move in the right directions. Without projects like this, the mayor's pledge of 80% carbon emissions reduction by 2050 cannot be achieved, but more importantly, the future of the city and the state will be at risk. We support this solar project and hope this is but the first of many such projects. That said, we need to ensure that this and future projects are conducted in the most environmentally sensitive manner feasible, targeting brownfields, rooftops, and parking lots. So we strongly support and urge passage of Bill 180965. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Cox, commenting on 170854.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. My name is Joe Cox. 170854. Unfair rental practices to require good cause for certain residential evictions. This is important legislation that needs to be made now. A personal testimony. I have about a week and a half to find a house. I was given notice out of the blue about a month and a half ago, 2 months notice. On the way here, a friend called me and was freaking out about being homeless. They have about a month as well to find a house. This is an epidemic, and it has become an epidemic. The Fair Work Week needs to happen, and it is affecting this. And that is all.
Thank you for your testimony, sir.
Eugene Carrington, commenting on 170854.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Eugene Carrington, a former resident of Brooklyn, New York, and I'm here to speak basically about why we need good cause. I'll share with you my experience. I'm a former resident of Brooklyn, New York, where I lived for over 40 years. I moved in from Queens, New York in 1975 until 2016. These are my observations. When the mid-90s arrived, I noticed that there was significant increases in rent and real estate prices. Around the year 2010, when gentrification in Brooklyn really picked up steam, in Bedford-Stuyvesant, my former neighborhood, outdoor cafes, fancy chain shops, chain stores, and scores of coffee shops invaded the neighborhood. Small mom and pop businesses also began to be priced out, along with long-term residents. Also, the homeless began to become more visible as condos and high-rent buildings became the new housing wave. Bed-Stuy and neighboring Fort Greene, two areas that had been popular Black and Latino neighborhoods, drastically changed as yuppies and other white ethnics move in. And yes, discrimination also intensified. I too was priced out and became homeless briefly. That's why 2 years ago, I moved here to Philadelphia. Fortunately, I was able to find housing. I would say I got gentrified out of Brooklyn, and I hope that doesn't happen again to myself or anyone. I also hope that you, our city council members, will support the Good Cause Bill and invest in low and moderate income housing, something that Philadelphia drastically needs. Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure to share my experiences with you.
Thank you so much for your testimony.
Richie Rawls. Commenting on 170854.
Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Ricky Ross. I'm here about the Good Cause Bill. I lost my home from a wrongful eviction because we don't have the Good Cause Bill. I am a prime example what happens without this bill. I came here with my 5 children. We're homeless. We was on our way out of state for help because every shelter here has told us for a year straight, there's no space for a mother and 5 children. When you lose your home, what's next is you lose your children. I've been fighting for a year. I've contacted city council. My story's been ignored. Because the Good Cause Bill is not in effect, me and my 5 children leave this meeting to go out of state to find shelter. And if that don't work, I lose my 5 babies. I ask that y'all take the Good Cause Bill very serious because it leads to several families living on the streets. And while there's people in orange coats walking around to keep homeless individuals out of the cold, this city does nothing to help homeless families. I feel like y'all forget that there's children involved when us families lose our home, their education, their health, everything, you know, and then when you remove our kids, you say love is not enough, but what is a child raised without love? I feel as though if this bill was in effect, it would stop several thousands of families from being on the streets, such as myself, and then trying to find shelter to find out there is no shelters for us here, and then, you know, constantly run around asking for help from city councils and being ignored. And I'm sorry about being emotional. Like I said, it's been a year. I've contacted city council so many times. We was on our way out of state this morning. I got word of this meeting, and I figured, hey, why not stop here, you know, and address, I do think y'all should do something about this Good Cause Bill, because when y'all don't, families wind up in our situation. We're not the first it happened to. I'm probably the first to get this far to get it heard or noticed or seen that y'all shelters do not house homeless families, and y'all turn us away after already deciding the Good Cause Bill was not good enough to, you know, to put into place. So I'm just here to say I think y'all should take consideration into this Good Cause Bill to avoid people from losing their homes for unfair reasons or being lied on or anything like that, to avoid other mothers in my situation feeling hopeless and helpless inside of our city. a city I was born and raised in for 30 years. I have to leave today with my children to find shelter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the time.
Maria Henao. Maria Henao.
She's here. She's here.
Commenting on 170854.
Good afternoon.
Hello, my name is Mara Henao, and I live on Masjid Street, District 7. I've been a renter my whole life. My grandparents used to rent a house big enough for 3 families. And when the landlord wanted us out, his son pulled out a gun on us, and I was only 10 years old. This is just one of the many times landlords use violence to evict tenants, and it doesn't always look like this. Sometimes it looks in the form of fake eviction notices, or turning off public services, or never repairing a property. Last year, I had to leave what I thought was going to be my home and my family's home. I have 2 children. We thought we were going to be able to stay there for 5 years because the landlord promised that that's what she was going to do. A year later, in August, she told us that no, I changed my mind. I want to give this to my daughter. So I want you out. And then you ask, why didn't you sign a lease for longer than a year? Well, good luck finding a lease that's longer than a year. The landlords want you to have to renew every single year your lease so that they can not just raise the rent, and they also want to be open to the opportunity to make a higher profit off of the property that they have. They do not care about who's living there. It is a business. And housing is not a business. Housing is a human right. Good cause will assure that verbal leases or verbal promises, which are already law in Philadelphia, will be the verbal agreements like this one actually happen. It would tilt the scale only so slightly towards tenants. The concept of landlord, if the name doesn't itself kind of like gives you an idea, is an outdated system. It's a system that comes from when we were slaves, from when we were back in the peasantry times, and that is the past. This is 2018, and it's about time our city or representatives take the side of the voters that they make so many promises to and make this happen. To the union. Woo!
Antonia Batts. Antonia Batts.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Antonia Batts. I am a United States military veteran. I come from a line of immediate family members, my father, my siblings, who are also veterans, and my mother, father, and I, and siblings, we're natives of Philadelphia. I've been on the road for quite a while and haven't had returned to Philadelphia and seen some very tear-jerking situations involved with how people can be, as individuals, very cruel to people who need fair housing. And I was subjected to that during the time I was raising mine, who did graduate from high school and went on to college. But it is ridiculous when people take the advantage of people especially when they have children, and especially when they have multiple children, or even just one, because they know they're at a disadvantage when it comes to the job market and things of that nature. I'm with, obviously, Philadelphia Tenants Union, and they ask if you could please consider enforcing good cause, and the purpose of enforcing it would not to be to intimidate the good landlords that are out there, but unfortunately, through time that I have returned up north here years ago from the south, I've seen situations where people have been subjected, like the young lady that just spoke, the young lady who has the 5 children over here, and I had done a little broadcast myself, internet-wise, regarding things I've heard that were just truly inhumane when it came to the handling of human beings. I mean, some of us, we love our pets, but if we feel as though that they should be placed in importance on a higher scale than human beings who just would like to raise their children and or just live like human beings who are trying to do the right thing and abide by the law, consider working, things of that nature. I would like to ask if we can get some supporters. We would thank you very much, because the good cause bill is not to intimidate, but just to hope that we can create a camaraderie so we can definitely all make Philadelphia be known as what it used to be considered before I left here anyway, and to go into the military, which was the city of brotherly love. It would be nice to be able to hear things when people call me from different states and, you know, they tell me about that title and what have you. And I just don't feel as though it was my business to put it out there exactly how unenforceable that it can be when you have things like that happening regarding the bad landlords. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony.
Orca Hurst.
Good afternoon. My name is Arica Hurst, and I'm here supporting 170-854, the unfair rental practices that would only push out people if they had a good cause, right? It's built into the title. As a Philadelphia resident, growing up here in Philadelphia, being a product of public education, I believe in my city, and I believe in the city council to come together and to pay attention to the people in Philadelphia that are suffering from unfair rental practices. We had Penn 1 building, everyone pushed out. Seniors dying the summer after they're pushed out the Penn 1 building. We have the Dorset Admiral Court building right now in West Philadelphia being pushed out. It's in prime real estate. It's in prime real estate, and we have city council members who are not paying attention because they believe in profits over people. We need city council to pay attention and not ignore the people in Philadelphia that have been working tirelessly. We need a fair work week, yes, but I don't care about a fair work week if I don't have a home to go to. So we need both of these things. We need fair work week, and we need a good cause. We need people like you. We need people like Kenyatta Johnson, who has come out to neighborhood walks and has promised the people of Philadelphia and Southwest that they would stand up with Curtis Jones when they present these bills. We cannot afford to have homelessness, people homeless, families homeless, because that's going to increase our taxes. We're going to have to pay more as citizens to pay for their emergency hospital visits. It costs less to house people and to fight for them right now when we have something like this, like a bill that will protect them from mass evictions, from being pushed out because people prefer profits over people. Like the young lady said before us, housing is a human right. Housing is a human right. And what we're seeing here in Philadelphia are people going against something called the Fair Housing Act right that 50 years ago was passed in 1968. People are being discriminated against, and you can see the highest ratio of people are black single mothers being pushed out of their homes, being pushed out of buildings, being pushed out of these prime real estate areas like University City, like Down Bottom, like Southwest, like University City again. When will you stand up for the people of Philadelphia? When will you stand up? We have to pass this bill. We have no choice. If we want to save people, if we want to save money, we need to support the working families and support the good cause bill. Vote yes December 6th.
Thank you for your testimony.
Sabrina Cook.
Ms. Cook.
Hi, I'm
Good
Sabrina.
afternoon.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Cook. Just speaking out in front of these people is not my thing, but I'm only opening my mouth today because my back is against the wall. I'm 40, a single mother of 2, and I'm being thrown out of the Air McCourt's building. Not just because of a bill, because of a law, because this guy feels as though it's okay. He can threaten us, turn off our utilities when the weather's the worst. He can come in our doors whenever he wants to because he has keys. He can harass us, mistreat us on a daily basis. I was in a hospital because I had heart problems because of all this. I'm about to lose my job and I have to go back home to my mother because I'm being thrown out for somewhere I paid rent for 9 years and gave no problems to. If a good cause bill is going to help these landlords stop being bullies, I'm all for it, and I'm all for anything else that's going to teach them that we got just as much say as y'all do. We bleed and wake up and die the same way everybody else do, so we should be treated like everybody else. That's what good cause is.
Thank you.
Carol Green.
God bless everyone. My name is Carol Green, and I need you to pray for me, please. I have a mother who God has been good to her, but she, as far as I know, had to go to court because someone wanted to evict her, and it made me very upset. I know everybody's not guilty. I don't believe that everybody in city council is guilty. I think a lot of the people in city council's hearts are right, and I'm sorry about all of the people that have to go through what they have to go through in their lives. And God cares about your situations. And he tells us what to do for people. I remember President Ronald Reagan. God had him to stand before the people with a Bible. He held it up, and he let us know, in other words, that God was our help. And he wanted us to read the Bible, you know, and I thank God for him. I thank God for the people here. I thank God for former Mayor Wilson Good, who I never got a chance to thank him, and the people who God allowed to use the Marian Anderson Recreation Center as a place of refuge for the homeless. It was a beautiful thing. And I'm sorry about you children that are going through this, but God does care. And he does tell us what to do and how to help one another. We just have to listen to him. So as for myself, I didn't know that when I became of age that I wouldn't get Social Security. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't have enough, maybe what you call points. So they told me I couldn't even get back what was put in. And sometimes people just don't know. And, you know, I tried to, in my younger life, better myself, because I always wasn't a good person. And God had to put me up on my feet, so I went to get a job once, and I wanted to go into business for myself, and I found out that my taxes were being used for wrong purposes, and I gave up the business because I didn't want my taxes to be used for wrong purposes. as now, of course, taxes are being used to support abortion, and abortion is murder. And I don't agree with same-sex marriage because it's against God's laws. And sometimes we might think we're right.
Ma'am,
Yep.
time is up.
Okay.
Thank you for your testimony, ma'am.
There are no other speakers in the public comment list, Mr.
Okay.
President.
That concludes our public comment session.
Hey, Decker. You put your name on the list?
Did you?
One more.
Thank you, City Council. As you heard the testimonies today.
State your name for the record.
I'm sorry, my name is Barry Thompson. Not only am I a member of the Philadelphia Tenants Union, I'm also a victim of illegal, unpracticed rental practice in the city of Philadelphia. As you heard the testimonies today, and I'm quite sure you will hear many more in the weeks to come, I want to leave City Council with this quote by the late Dr. Martin Luther King: "There's always the right time to do what's right." Now I think it's the right time for you guys to get together and help us get this good cause bill passed. To the Philadelphia Union.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. We will. We're done, right? Pardon me? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Where is there another? In the future, if this, for the record, if anyone wants to speak, make sure you sign up so we can make sure we have your name. So we want to hear what you have to say. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, we will now consider today's bill consent agenda. I would ask Mr. Decker to read the titles of all the bills on the consent agenda. After each title is read, any member may object to the inclusion of the bill on the consent agenda. Upon such an objection and without a debate, the bill will be immediately removed from the consent agenda and placed on our regular final passage calendar. Mr. Decker, if you will please now read the titles of the bills on the consent agenda.
Bill number 180747, entitled an ordinance adopting an amendment to the Articles of Incorporation of the Old City Special Services District of Philadelphia to extend the term of that authority. And Bill number 180749, entitled an ordinance approving a new plan, estimated costs, and proposed method of assessment of the Old City Special Services District of Philadelphia for and concerning business improvements and administrative services to the Old City area of the City of Philadelphia. And Bill number 180872, entitled an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Allen's Lane, Bryan Street, Mount Pleasant Avenue, Mower Street, Sedgwick Street Extended, Lincoln Drive, Elliott Street, and McCallum Street. And Bill number 180907, entitled an ordinance to amend the Philadelphia zoning maps by changing the zoning designations of certain areas of land located within an area bounded by Ontario Street, Gall Street, Castor Avenue, Thompson Street, Butler Street Extended, and the Delaware Expressway. And Bill number 180908, entitled an ordinance amending section 14523 of the Philadelphia Code, entitled Overlay Zoning Districts by adding a new subsection entitled IMA, Industrial and Manufacturing Area Overlay District. And Bill number 180743, entitled an ordinance authorizing the Commissioner of Public Property and the Director of Commerce to convey to UL Grant Avenue, a parcel of land located in the vicinity of the intersection of Grant Avenue and Academy Road. And Bill number 180601, entitled an ordinance legalizing an existing stairway enclosure at 2048 South 21st Street. And Bill number 180604, entitled an ordinance authorizing the revision of lines and grades in a portion of City Plan number 222 by striking from the city plan and vacating the legally open portion of Bristol Street from Adams Avenue to the Frankfort Creek Channel, striking from the city plan and vacating Leeper Street from Adams Avenue to the Frankfort Creek Channel, striking from the city plan Deal Street from Leeper Street to a point northeastwardly therefrom, and reserving and placing on the city plan a right-of-way. And Bill number 180646, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 9100 block of Ryerson Road. And Bill number 180647, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 2800 block of Willits Road, both sides. And Bill number 180694, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 3400 block of Oakmont Street, both sides. And Bill number 180730, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on both sides of Dittman Street from Cotman Avenue to Ron Street. And Bill number 180731, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 4100 and 4200 blocks of Passmore Street, both sides. And Bill number 180733, entitled an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Wharton Street and 16th Street, Rosewood Street and Mifflin Street, Porter Street and Broad Street, Eisenmenger Street and Oregon Avenue, Montrose Street and 19th Street, Catherine Street and Banbury Street. And Bill number 180734, entitled an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Grace Ferry Avenue and Christian Street and 23rd Street, Dorrance Street and Catherine Street, Eisenmenger Street and Johnston Street, Camac Street and Tasker Street, 17th Street and Fitzwater Street. And Bill number 180735, entitled an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Christian Street and 22nd Street, 15th Street and Wolf Street, Wharton Street and 15th Street, Pemberton Street and 22nd Street, Bainbridge Street and 26th Street. And Bill number 180841, entitled an ordinance authorizing the revision of lines and grades on a portion of City Plan numbers 282 and 291 by relocating the southwesterly house line of Cotman Avenue from State Road to a point northwesterly therefrom, a variable distance southwesterly, and relocating the northwesterly house line of State Road from Cotman Avenue to a point southwestwardly therefrom, a variable distance northwestwardly, thereby widening said Cotman Avenue and said State Road. And Bill number 180866, entitled an ordinance amending section 9205 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Sidewalk Sales by prohibiting vending on both sides of 77th Street between City Avenue and Overbrook Avenue. And Bill number 180867, entitled an ordinance amending chapter 122700 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Permit Parking Districts by amending the boundaries for Permit Parking District 2 and Permit Parking District 31. And Bill number 180868, entitled an ordinance amending chapter 123000 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Use of an Automated Red Light Enforcement System to Prevent Red Light Violations by authorizing the installation of red light enforcement systems at the intersection of 70th Street and Lindbergh Boulevard. And Bill number 180869, entitled an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Mole Street and Ellsworth Street, St. Albans Street and 23rd Street, Kimball Street and 20th Street, Cater Street and 21st Street, Dickinson Street and 15th Street, Carpenter Street to 20th Street, 8th Street and Oregon Avenue. And Bill number 180871, entitled an ordinance revising parking restrictions on East Willow Grove Avenue, both sides between Crittenden Street and Stenton Avenue. And Bill number 180890, entitled an ordinance authorizing Charles Wiener, doing business as Chubby Steaks, to install, own, and maintain an open-air sidewalk cafe at 5826 Henry Avenue. And Bill number 180891, entitled an ordinance legalizing an existing garage extension encroachment at 1601 South 17th Street. And Bill number 180946, entitled an ordinance amending chapter 10700 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Refuse and Littering to designate certain blocks as litter enforcement corridors pursuant to Title 75 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes. And Bill number 180947, entitled an ordinance establishing a no truck parking regulation on the 8000 block of Crispin Street, both sides. And Bill number 180952, entitled an ordinance establishing parking regulations in the vicinity of Fitzwater Street and South 23rd Street, Fitzwater Street and South 12th Street, Carpenter Street and South 18th Street, Christian Street and Grace Ferry Avenue, Christian Street and South 20th Street, Christian Street and Grace Ferry Avenue, Christian Street and South 20th Street, and Christian Street and South 21st Street. And Bill number 180956, entitled an ordinance establishing parking restrictions on East Washington Lane, both sides between Crittenden Street and Stetton Avenue. And Bill number 180974, entitled an ordinance authorizing the Procurement Commissioner and the Director of Commerce on behalf of the city to enter into a concession agreement for the development, management, and operation of an airport advertising program at Philadelphia International Airport, all under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Decker. These bills haven't been read on 2 different days. The question for each bill now is, shall the bill pass finally? The clerk shall call a roll, and upon being called, each council member shall vote aye on each of the bills, nay on each of the bills, or indicate those bills for which the member is voting aye and those bills for which the member is voting nay. Mr. Decker, please call a roll.
Councilwoman Bass. Councilwoman Blackwell. Councilman Dom. Councilman Greenlee. Councilwoman Gim. Councilman Henon. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Jones. Councilman O'Neill. Councilman O. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Canuna Sanchez. Councilwoman Reynolds Brown. Councilman Squilla. Councilman Taubenberger. Council President Clark.
Aye on all bills. A majority of all members having voted in the affirmative for each of the bills on the consent agenda are passed. We will now move to the bills on the regular and second reading final passage calendar. Mr. Decker, please read the title of Resolution 181-106.
A resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 1302 South Cleveland Street located in the 2nd Councilmanic District.
Chair recognizes Councilman Member Johnson.
Council President, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Resolution 181-016 has been adopted. Mr. Decker, 181-018.
A resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 2935 through 65 North 2nd Street located in the 7th Councilmanic District.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Canuna Sanchez.
Adoption.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Resolution 181-018 is adopted. Mr. Decker, 181-019.
A resolution authorizing the Philadelphia Land Bank to dispose of 2147 East Orleans Street located in the 1st Councilmanic District.
Chair recognizes Councilman Squilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Resolution 181-019 is adopted. Mr. Decker, 181-026.
A resolution urging the Philadelphia Parking Authority to recognize November 11th as non-ticketing day in recognition of the Veterans Day holiday.
Chair recognizes Councilman O.
Thank you very much. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. And Resolution 181-026 is adopted. Mr. Decker, 180-351A.
An ordinance providing for the payment to the city upon the construction of certain real estate and directing council to appropriate revenues from such payments to the Department of Planning and Development, Division of Housing and Community Development, in order to support equitable neighborhood development by constructing affordable housing, including units for sale or rent, and by providing assistance to Philadelphians who desire to become homeowners.
Chair recognizes Councilman Squilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that bill number 180351 be withdrawn.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Bill number 180-351A is withdrawn. Mr. Decker. Okay. Mr. Decker, 180-008A.
An ordinance amending Section 14513 of the Philadelphia Code entitled TOD Transit-Oriented Development Overlay District to revise requirements and to designate several transit-oriented development transit stations.
This bill has been heard on 2 separate days. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Mr. Decker, call the roll.
Councilwoman Bass. Councilwoman Blackwell. Councilman Dom. Councilman Greenlee. Councilwoman Gim. Councilman Henon. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Jones. Councilman O'Neill. Councilman O. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Canuna Sanchez. Councilwoman Reynolds Brown. Councilman Squilla. Councilman Taubenberger. Council President Clark.
Aye, the ayes are 16 and nays are 0. Majority of members present voting in the affirmative, the bill passes. Mr. Decker, please read the title of 170854.
An ordinance amending Section 9804 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Unfair Rental Practices to require good cause for certain residential evictions and to provide for a first option for existing tenants to renew a lease.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to offer an amendment to Bill Number 170854. A copy of this amendment has been circulated to all members, and I move for its adoption of the amendment.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, ayes have it. The amendment to 170854 has been adopted. 170854 will be on the final passes calendar at our next session of council. Mr. Decker, 180649.
An ordinance amending Title 9 of the Philadelphia Code entitled Regulation of Businesses, Trades, and Professions by adding a new chapter to require certain covered employers to provide fair work week, reasonable notice of schedules, fair employment standards for certain employees, including but not limited to reasonable notice of schedules, rest time between shifts, and opportunities for additional hours.
And the chair recognizes Councilwoman Gim.
Thank you, Mr. President. I offer an amendment to Bill Number 180649. A copy of the amendment has been circulated to all members of council. For the past year, our office, along with the Broad-Based Coalition, has been involved in a robust and fairly unprecedented engagement process with our labor organizations, businesses, and more than 50 coalition partners calling for a fair work week in our city. This has been an issue that has not only made sense for working families, but for businesses themselves. In meeting after meeting, I've listened to business leaders who have recoiled from stories that their own employees have told about losing childcare subsidies when they lose hours, or when schedules change so much that their employees can't predict their own monthly rent, when shifts get canceled as soon as someone shows up for work. Businesses know that a fair work week is a path to greater profits, less attrition, and more stability for themselves. And today's vote is a long time coming, and it's particularly timely because it's the holiday seasons. And as people flock to some people get to flock to retail stores to buy presents, others might go to the grocery stores for Thanksgiving feasts, and others may head to restaurants that make the holidays special. Other workers are struggling to know when they'll work, if they'll work, or how much they'll work. So today's vote on these common sense amendments gives us the opportunity to take a stand on common sense changes to the bill that will improve it immensely. We took our time on this bill because we wanted to get this right. The amendments being proffered come after extensive dialogue with our businesses. It's been a collaborative process. And we have a bill that today addresses the significant problem of underemployment. It gives people a pathway to full-time hours. It's a guarantee of a good faith estimate and predictability, and it's a guarantee that they won't be retaliated against. And this bill and today's vote, I hope, is a vote for all the folks in this audience today, organizers who stood up for a fair work week. I'm thinking about Ms. Earlene Bly, who's taking care of her family and is on call right now because it slows down during the holidays, right before the holidays. And she has to wait by the phone to hear about whether she's going to come in for work. Today's vote is a vote for Shaheem, who had to quit community college in order to stand with the job that paid for that college. It's for Tori, who takes care of her sick mom and her younger siblings, walks miles to work in the dead of winter because she doesn't have the bus fare. And for Rob, who keeps fighting for this bill, even though he's seen so much retaliation even while he does it. So I want to share my immense thanks to all the members in this audience today who stood up for a fair work week, who are fighting for 130,000 service workers who keep our city running, who keep our businesses profitable, and for the hundreds of people who stood alongside of them. We can't raise the minimum wage, but this council can guarantee that you will have a more stable work life, a pathway towards full-time work, and to get the notice you need to take care of your children and to make doctor's appointments and for your health and for your families. And with that, I move for the adoption of the amendment.
All right, thank you. It has been moved and properly second. The amendments are 180, 649. Those in favor? Those in favor of said amendments? Aye. Those opposed? Ayes have it. 180. 180-649 has been amended. It will be on our second reading and final passage calendar at our next session of council. Mr. Decker, please read the title of 180-965.
An ordinance authorizing the Procurement Commissioner on behalf of the city to enter into an agreement with the Philadelphia Energy Authority to purchase electricity and certain attributes and benefits related to the generation of such electricity from a solar energy facility, Adams Solar, for use at and in connection with city facilities.
Hold on, Ms. Decker. Folks, could you all, as you leave or whatever, could you please hold it down a little bit, please, so we can hear? Thank you. Everybody hear the title? Thank you. This bill has been heard on 2 separate days. The question is, shall the bill pass? I'm sorry. Oh, Councilwoman? Chair recognizes Councilwoman Reynolds Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did want to offer brief remarks on this measure. First, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Councilman Dom and Councilman O, along with the leadership of the Philadelphia Energy Authority and the brilliant vision of the Office of Sustainability for the subsequent follow-up lengthy meeting we had around this bill 180-965. It should be stated that this power purchase agreement will create the single largest solar project in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it will be the largest solar project in the state sevenfold. We need to thank the environmental and sustainability citizens and advocates who are deeply excited about Philadelphia once again taking the lead. Here's what this project, the benefits of this project. It will reduce regional greenhouse gas emissions, show leadership in fulfilling our city's clean energy and carbon reduction commitments, along with moving closer to your 10,000 jobs pledge. This measure will set a model for institutions, businesses, and residents to also purchase clean energy, create, of course, family-sustaining jobs, and promote regional economic development. Most importantly, I'm pleased to report that Philadelphia area public school students have already been included on this project in conjunction with the Philadelphia Energy Authority. This collaboration is one that works because it will carve out opportunities for young people to grow and build a sustainable future in the sustainable landscape. So again, with this unprecedented bill, it will open up another bank of jobs in the field of solar energy. And so with that, I'm asking for favorable consideration by my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. This bill has been heard on 2 separate days. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Mr. Decker, call the roll.
Councilwoman Bass. Councilwoman Blackwell. Councilman Dom. Councilman Greenlee. Councilwoman Gim. Councilman Henon. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Jones. Councilman O'Neill. Councilman O. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Curtis Sanchez. Councilwoman Reynolds Brown. Councilman Squilla. Councilman Toppenberger. Council President Clark.
Aye, the ayes are 16, the nays are 0. Majority of members present voting in affirmative, the bill passes. Mr. Decker, 180-695.
An ordinance amending Title IX, Regulation of Businesses, Trades, and Professions of the Philadelphia Code to add a new Section 9637 entitled Opioid Antidote Availability to require pharmacies to stock opioid antidotes and display signs giving notice of opioid antidote availability to customers.
This bill has been heard on 2 separate days. The question is, shall the bill pass finally? Mr. Decker, call the roll.
Councilwoman Bass. Councilwoman Blackwell. Councilman Dom. Councilman Greenlee. Councilwoman Gim. Councilman Henon. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Jones. Councilman O'Neill. Councilman O. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Curtis Sanchez. Councilwoman Reynolds Brown. Councilman Squilla. Councilman Toppenberger. Council President Clark.
Aye, the ayes are 15, the nays are 1. Majority of members present voting in affirmative, the bill passes. Mr. Decker, you have any additional resolutions?
A resolution recognizing and congratulating Trish Wellenbach and the Please Touch Museum on the opening of their America to Zanzibar exhibit, a vibrant exhibition celebrating the diversity of modern and historic Muslim communities across Philadelphia and the world through art, technology, and interactive programming, which will be open to the public from February 2, 2019 through September 19, 2019. Introduced by Councilman Jones.
Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption.
I'm sorry. You second?
Yes.
It's been moved and probably second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
And a resolution acknowledging and recognizing the Drug Enforcement Administration's 360 strategy, an innovative three-pronged approach to combating heroin opioid use through law enforcement, diversion, and community outreach, introduced by Councilman Dom.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dom.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's been moved and probably second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Resolution is adopted.
And a resolution recognizing and honoring Southwest Philadelphia's Ania Moore, a Philadelphia Public Schools graduate, for being named a 2019 Rhodes Scholar, introduced by Councilwoman Gim.
Chair recognizes Councilwoman Gim.
Thank you very much, Council President. This week we got a chance to hear from the School District of Philadelphia and remind ourselves what it means when an entire city uplifts its young people. I was really proud and shared, along with Councilman Johnson, to have Ania Moore, a 2015 graduate of the Philadelphia Public Schools, be an intern in our offices, and I'm just so proud to see her move forward on this incredible scholarship and study on to Oxford, where she'll be studying, among other things, education policy as well. If you haven't had a chance, if my council members have not had a chance to read about Ania Moore, she has had an amazing story that is a testament to truly what it means to have hope, resilience, perseverance, and to know that there are great things that happen in this world to incredibly wonderful people. She was on Radio Times this week as well, so you can listen to her interview on Radio Times. But she tells an incredible story of persevering. She lost both her parents as a young child. She gives all of her gratitude to them that this is their award, and she shares it with them. And so I'm proud to honor Ania Moore. She's the 4th Rhodes Scholar in the last 5 years from the Philadelphia Public Schools, which is pretty astounding. I don't think that there's any other school system that can boast that much, and it's also worth noting as that every single one of those Philadelphia Rhodes Scholars went to Oxford to study education policy. So the struggles of our schools, the meaningfulness of fighting for education in the city of Philadelphia has led to a new crop of leaders who are just incredible, and Ania is at the top of her game. So with that, I move for the adoption of the resolution.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. That resolution is adopted.
There are no other resolutions on the final passage calendar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Decker. Are there any speeches on behalf of the minority? And speeches on behalf of the majority? Chair recognizes Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. As many of you know, there was a fashion show last week entitled Who Wore It Best? Last year's winners were Councilwoman Helen Gim and Councilman Curtis Jones. I feel compelled to announce the new 2018 winner of Who Wore It Best in the person of Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown. Can we join and congratulate her? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. No other speeches, and I guess we're worn out. And with that, Chair recognizes Councilwoman Reynolds Brown for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that council stand adjourned until Thursday, December 6th, 2018 at 10 a.m.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly second that council stand adjourned until Thursday, December 6th, 2018, 10 a.m. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, ayes have it. Thank you all very much.